God says to you, the worst is already over. Now comes your reward. Listen carefully. This is not just another message you stumble upon on your way through the endless noise of life. This is a divine whisper, perfectly timed, meant for your spirit at this exact moment. You have been through storms that no one truly saw. You've cried in secret, smiled in public, and convinced yourself you were fine just to keep moving forward. But God saw it all. Every silent battle, every unspoken prayer, every moment you almost gave up. And now, He wants you to hear this. The worst is already over. Before we go further, I want you to stay until the end of this message, because the moment you hear these words in full, something will shift inside you. Clarity will return. Strength will rise. And you will understand why everything you went through had to happen. If this speaks to you, don't just listen passively. Engage with this message. Leave a comment with the words, "I receive it," as a declaration of faith. And share it with someone else who is fighting silently, because they too need to hear that. A new chapter is about to begin. The road behind you has been steep, filled with moments where you thought your breaking point had arrived. You've been tested in ways that shook your sense of security. Maybe you lost something precious, a relationship, an opportunity, a dream you thought was God-given. Maybe the people you trusted walked away when you needed them most. Or maybe you've been carrying an invisible weight for so long that it became part of you. But here's the truth. Nothing you went through was wasted. Every tear, every setback, every delay was not a sign of God's absence, but a preparation for His promise. The seed of your next blessing was planted in the soil of your pain. And now, the season is shifting. The worst is not coming. It's behind you. And in front of you is a season of restoration. You see, when God allows a storm, it is never without purpose. Sometimes He permits things to fall apart so that the right things can fall into place. Sometimes He closes doors so that we stop walking toward dead ends. And sometimes He lets us feel the weight of our weakness so that we learn to lean entirely on His strength. Your storm was not random. It was targeted, intentional, and necessary for your transformation. Now, the transition begins. Imagine this. You've been climbing a mountain in the dark, unsure if you're even on the right path. The wind was harsh, the ground unstable, and every step felt like it could be your last. But suddenly, you see the first light of dawn breaking over the horizon. The air feels different. The fear in your chest begins to lift, and then it hits you. You made it through the night. That's where you are right now. Spiritually, emotionally, even in the unseen realm. The night is over, and a new day is breaking. But here's something I need you to understand. Stepping into a new season requires a shift in your posture. You can't walk into your blessing carrying the mindset of survival. Survival taught you how to endure, but blessing will require you to expand. You will have to believe again, dream again, and open your hands to receive. That's not easy when you've been fighting for so long that rest feels foreign. But God is saying, I am restoring you. I am multiplying you. I am turning your mourning into joy. If you're hearing this and something inside you feels like it's waking up, pay attention. That is your spirit recognizing truth. This message is not by accident. It's not a coincidence that you are here. Out of all the videos, out of all the noise online, you landed here because heaven wanted to speak directly to your heart. Midway through your journey, the enemy wanted you to believe that this was it, that you would never recover, that your best days were behind you. But God says, your best days are not behind you. They are being prepared right now, and they will be so full of my goodness that you will forget the pain that brought you here. So, Here's what I want you to do right now. Declare this over your life. The worst is over. My season of reward has begun. Say it out loud if you can. Write it down somewhere you will see it every day. Speak it until your mind believes it and your spirit expects it. Because this next chapter is not about fighting for scraps. It's about sitting at the table God prepared for you while your enemies watch in silence. It's about receiving without fear that it will be taken away. It's about living in a peace so deep that the storms of the past no longer shake you. And yes, there will still be challenges ahead. That's life. But the crushing, suffocating weight of the last season, it will not follow you here. You've graduated from that test. You've passed through that fire. And now, you will see why it was worth it. This is the moment you stop bracing for the next blow and start expecting the next blessing. It's the moment you shift from asking, "When will it end?" to declaring, "It has ended, and my reward is here." And if you believe that, hold on, because in the next moments of this message, I'm going to show you exactly how to prepare yourself so that when the blessing comes, you don't miss it and you don't lose it. There's something you must understand about this moment in your life. The shift is not only happening around you, it's happening inside you. External blessings are a reflection of internal alignment. And right now, God is aligning you with a frequency of abundance, peace, and divine opportunities. 4. Too long. You've been trained to expect bad news. You've learned to live braced for impact, always waiting for the next disappointment, always carrying that subtle fear that good things won't last. That's not your fault. Life has conditioned you that way. People have let you down. Circumstances have betrayed your trust. But God is about to rewrite the way you experience life. He's teaching you to live in anticipation instead of apprehension. Think of your heart like a house. For years, parts of that house were locked up because of pain. Certain rooms you wouldn't even enter because they reminded you of what you lost. Dreams that never came to pass. Relationships that ended in heartbreak. Moments where you felt abandoned. But the season you are entering is one where God is unlocking those rooms, airing them out, and filling them with light again. This is not just about material blessings. Yes, there will be doors that open, connections that are made, and opportunities that feel almost too perfect to be real. But the real reward is the restoration of your peace, your hope, and your joy. The worst wasn't just about what happened to you. It was about what it took from you. And now, God is returning it all, pressed down, shaken together, and overflowing. But here's the truth. Stepping into this season requires a choice. You cannot keep rehearsing the pain of the past while trying to embrace the future. You cannot keep feeding the wounds that God has already healed. The reward comes when you decide to lay down the old identity, the one shaped by loss, scarcity, and fear, and step into the new one shaped by abundance, favor, and trust. Right now, I need you to make a decision. This is your call to action. Declare it in the comments. Write it in your journal. Say it aloud. I refuse to live like the storm is still here. My new season starts now. Because here's the thing. God is already moving. The pieces are already shifting in your favor. What you've been praying for is closer than you think. In fact, while you were busy wondering if it would ever happen, God was quietly putting everything in place. Remember, seeds don't sprout the moment they are planted. They need time in the darkness, under the soil, unseen. That's where you've been. The season of darkness wasn't punishment. It was preparation. And now the seed is breaking open, pushing through the soil, reaching for the light. Your breakthrough will be visible soon. There's something powerful that happens when you understand this truth. Your present reality is not the full picture. You might still see shadows of your old struggle, but the substance of your blessing is already in motion. Think about it. When the sun rises, the darkness doesn't disappear instantly. The night fades slowly, but the moment the light breaks the horizon, you know the day has begun. That's where you are. So, I want you to begin acting like your reward is already here. Walk with your shoulders back. Speak with confidence. Approach each day not as if you're still trying to survive, but as if you're building an abundance, because blessings are attracted to a heart that is ready to hold them. And here's a truth the enemy doesn't want you to know. The more you act in alignment with your coming blessing, the faster it arrives. Fear delays it. Doubt delays it. Self-sabotage delays it. But faith, gratitude, and expectation accelerate it. That's why this is not just a message to make you feel good for a moment. It's a divine instruction. Shift your posture now. Stop waking up and wondering what could go wrong. Start waking up and asking, what good is going to surprise me today? You have been through enough nights to know what it's like to live in survival mode. Now, it's time to learn what it's like to live in receiving mode. And that's exactly where we are going next. Because in the next part of this message, I'm going to show you how to position yourself so that when your reward comes, you are ready not just to receive it, but to keep it and multiply it. This is the difference between a blessing that changes your week and a blessing that changes your life forever. Here's the truth about blessings. They are not just gifts, they are responsibilities. When God shifts you from a season of trials to a season of rewards, He's not just giving you something to enjoy, He's trusting you with something to steward. You see, the pain you went through wasn't just to make you stronger, it was to prepare your hands, your heart, and your mindset to carry what's coming without losing yourself. Because blessings can be lost as quickly as they are given if you're not ready to hold them. And God doesn't just want to give you a miracle. He wants to give you the capacity to keep it. Let's be honest. There were seasons when you weren't ready. There were times you prayed for something, but deep down, you knew that if it came to you then, you might have wasted it or not valued it. Sometimes God withholds what you've been asking for, not because you don't deserve it, but because He knows the weight of it could crush you if you're not strong enough yet. Think about it. What if the financial breakthrough you've been praying for came in the middle of your most anxious, fearful season? Would you have been able to manage it? Or would you have lost it trying to cover every insecurity? What if the relationship you've been asking for came while your self-worth was still tied to the opinions of others? Would you have been able to build love on a foundation of security? Or would fear have sabotaged it? God doesn't just answer prayers. He times them. And His timing is perfect, even when it feels painfully slow. Now, in this moment, He's saying, you are ready. The refining fire has done its work. The lessons have taken root. The trust you've built in me is now strong enough to carry what I am about to place in your hands. The worst is behind you. And now, what's ahead will be so full of my goodness that you will understand why you had to wait. But I must tell you this. Stepping into your reward requires a shift in how you think and how you move. You can't treat the new season like the old one. If you walk into this chapter with the habits of survival, you will shrink your own blessing. Survivors think in terms of enough to get by. Receivers think in terms of enough to build, enough to bless, enough to multiply. So here's your first positioning step. Expand your vision. Stop asking for just enough to stop the pain. Start asking for enough to live in joy, enough to lift others, enough to create a legacy. If you think small, you will only hold small. But if you think in alignment with God's abundance, you create space for more to flow in. Second, protect your peace as if it were gold, because it is. There will be people who cannot handle the new season God is bringing you into. Some will try to drag you back into the mindset of scarcity because your growth will expose their comfort with smallness. Some will disguise their envy as concern, and some will simply not understand why you no longer entertain the same fears or settle for the same limits. Protect your space. Not everyone who clapped for you in the storm will celebrate you in the sunshine. Third, stay anchored in gratitude. Gratitude is what locks the blessing in place. The moment you stop recognizing the gift, you risk losing sight of the giver. And when you lose sight of the giver, the gift loses its meaning. Wake up every day and thank God not just for what's coming, but for what He's already brought you through. Gratitude keeps your hands open for more. Right now, I want you to declare this in the comments as a prophetic act. I am ready to receive, ready to protect, and ready to multiply my blessing. Write it. Speak it. Let it settle into your spirit until it becomes the way you move through life. Because the truth is, you are not just entering a better season, you're entering a different dimension of living. The air is lighter here. The pressure is different here. The opportunities that come will require you to be decisive, bold, and confident. You won't have time to doubt yourself in this season. And I know what you might be thinking. But what if I'm not strong enough? What if I make a mistake? Hear me. God didn't bring you through the fire just to drop you in your blessing unprepared. Every wound you healed from, every loss you endured, every delay you survived, all of it was training. This is why you will not collapse when the reward comes. You have been conditioned by the storm to carry the weight of the blessing. And in the next part, I'm going to take you deeper, because there's something even more important than receiving the blessing. Learning how to recognize it when it shows up. Too many people miss their reward because it doesn't arrive in the package they expected. And I refuse to let that happen to you. One of the greatest dangers in your new season is failing to recognize the blessing when it arrives. We all have an image in our minds of what our answered prayer should look like. We imagine the perfect job, the ideal relationship, the exact opportunity, the dream home, the financial miracle, and because we expect it to arrive wrapped in the packaging we designed in our minds, we sometimes overlook the blessings that come disguised as small beginnings. Here's the truth. God often delivers your reward in seed form. It might look humble, unpolished, even inconvenient at first. But inside that seed is everything you've been praying for, if you're willing to nurture it. Think about the people God has placed in your life recently. Maybe they aren't the powerful connections you imagined. Maybe they're quiet, ordinary, unassuming. But one of them could be the link to the opportunity you've been waiting for. Maybe the open door isn't a grand announcement, but a small shift, an invitation, a conversation that seems casual, but carries the weight of destiny. That's why discernment is critical. This is your season to look beyond appearances. Don't dismiss a blessing because it doesn't look like the dream you scripted in your mind. God is not a human manufacturer. He is a divine strategist. He will often wrap your miracle in work, in patience, in humility, because those who are willing to invest in the process are the ones prepared to handle the reward. Your task in this season is to train your eyes to see what your spirit already knows. And here's how. First, pay attention to the small shifts. Blessings rarely explode into your life overnight. They arrive like the dawn, quietly, gradually, but undeniably. That little improvement in your health, that unexpected message of encouragement, that new skill you've been drawn to learn, those are not random. They are pieces of the puzzle. Second, stay sensitive to divine nudges. Have you noticed that in this season you feel certain pulls in your heart? A strange urge to call someone, to step into a new space, to revisit an old dream you left behind. That's not coincidence. That's guidance. God is steering you toward the places and people that hold the keys to your reward. Third, test everything by peace. When an opportunity comes, ask yourself, does this bring a deep inner peace, even if it challenges me? Because blessings don't always feel comfortable, but they carry peace. Chaos may try to surround it, but the core of it will feel right, like it belongs in your life. And remember this, sometimes the reward isn't just a thing or a moment. Sometimes the reward is you. The person you've become after everything you've been through, stronger, wiser, deeper, is already a gift. The growth you've achieved is part of the promise fulfilled. And it's often that version of you that will attract the other rewards you've been praying for. Right now, God is aligning things in ways you can't see yet, but He's also aligning you. Because when the blessing meets the prepared version of you, it doesn't just change your life. It multiplies through you, impacting everyone connected to you. So here's your action in this moment. Close your eyes for a second, breathe, and picture yourself already in your reward season. Feel it. Imagine what it looks like, what it smells like, the sounds you hear, the joy that rises in your chest. Hold that vision in your heart, because when you see it internally, you prepare your spirit to recognize it externally. And declare this in the comments if you feel it in your soul. I will recognize my blessing, even if it comes in a form I didn't expect. Because this next stage is going to require you to be awake, aware, and ready. And in the next part of this message, I'm going to show you how to walk into your new season with boldness and authority, so that when the blessing comes, you take full possession of it without hesitation or fear. When the blessing finally arrives, many people hesitate. They've been waiting, praying, and dreaming for it. But when it shows up, they question whether they deserve it, whether they can handle it, or whether it's too good to be true. I want you to understand something very clearly. Hesitation is one of the fastest ways to let opportunity slip through your fingers. This is why your past season was so intense. God was conditioning you, shaping your mindset, and building your confidence so that when the door swings open, you won't stand there wondering if you should step through. You'll walk in with authority. Authority doesn't mean arrogance. Authority is quiet confidence, the kind that comes from knowing you've been prepared, chosen, and positioned for exactly this moment. It's walking into a room and not shrinking back because of who's there, but knowing you have as much right to be there as anyone else. It's saying yes when opportunity knocks instead of waiting for someone else to validate your decision. And here's the truth. The moment you take bold steps toward your blessing, you trigger acceleration. God can open doors, but it's your responsibility to walk through them. Now, let me give you some keys to walking into your reward with that boldness and authority. Claim it in your spirit before it manifests. If you wait to feel worthy until the blessing is in your hands, you may never fully embrace it. Worthiness is decided before the blessing arrives. Decide now that you are ready, that you are capable, and that you are allowed to receive good things without guilt. Speak the language of abundance. Your words are powerful. In this season, you must stop speaking like someone who is barely surviving. Stop saying, "I hope things work out," and start saying, "Things are working in my favor." Your vocabulary should match your destiny, not your history. Oh. Move as if the blessing is already here. If you've been praying for a business, start preparing your systems now. If you've been asking for a relationship, start building the habits that make you a loving, healthy partner now. If you've been praying for financial breakthrough, start learning how to manage and multiply money now. This is how you signal to heaven that you are serious about holding what you've been asking for. And let me say this, when the blessing comes, it will attract attention. Some will celebrate you sincerely. Others will question you, criticize you, or even try to diminish your joy. You must be ready for that. Don't spend your energy trying to convince the doubters. Your reward isn't a debate, it's a divine gift. Those who need to understand will see it in time. This is also why boundaries will be essential. Not everyone from your past season will be able to walk with you into this new one. That doesn't mean they're bad people. It means your paths are no longer aligned. Protecting your blessing sometimes means creating distance from those who drain it. Here's what I want you to remember. The worst season of your life didn't destroy you. It refined you. It stripped away what couldn't stay, revealed who truly belonged in your corner, and reintroduced you to the strength you didn't know you had. Now, the same resilience that carried you through the storm will carry you into the reward. But with one key difference. In this season, you won't be fighting to survive. You'll be building to thrive. Take a moment right now and let that truth sink in. You're not going back. You're not repeating the old cycles. This is a forward-only season. And if you believe that with your whole heart, write this in the comments as a seal over your life. I walk into my blessing with boldness, and I will not hesitate. Because in the next part of this message, I'm going to reveal how to sustain this reward for the long term. So it doesn't just bless you for a moment, but transforms your life permanently. Receiving a blessing is one thing. Sustaining it and allowing it to multiply is another. Many people step into their breakthrough only to find themselves back where they started months or years later. It's not because God took the blessing away. It's because they didn't have the structure, mindset, or habits to maintain it. But that will not be your story. This new season you're entering is not just about getting what you've prayed for. It's about keeping it and growing it, and that requires intentional stewardship. You've probably seen this happen before. A person receives an incredible opportunity, a job, a relationship, a business idea, and instead of nurturing it, they become careless. They lose focus. They let fear creep in. They start acting like the blessing is temporary, and before long, it slips through their fingers. God is saying to you right now, I am not giving you this reward to watch it fade. I am giving it to you so it can flourish. So here are the principles that will help you sustain your blessing long after the excitement of receiving it fades. Treat your blessing with respect, not entitlement. It's easy to take something for granted once it becomes familiar. But the moment you stop valuing your blessing, you start weakening your grip on it. Keep the same gratitude you had on the first day you received it. Every time you interact with it, whether it's a job, a relationship, a home, or a skill, treat it like the treasure it is. Build a lifestyle that supports your blessing. If you've been blessed financially, create habits that protect and grow that wealth. If you've been blessed with love, cultivate habits that deepen connection and trust. If you've been blessed with influence, develop habits that keep you humble and impactful. Blessings grow in environments that match their value. Remain anchored in the source, not the gift. The moment your joy, identity, or security is tied only to the blessing, you risk losing it if circumstances change. Remember, the blessing is a reflection of God's goodness, not the source of it. Stay connected to the one who gave it to you, and you'll never lack. Be generous with what you've received. One of the fastest ways to see your blessing multiply is to let it flow through you. When you hoard it, it stagnates. When you share it expands. This doesn't always mean giving away money. It can be giving away wisdom, encouragement, time, or opportunities. Keep growing even after the reward comes. Some people stop developing themselves once they arrive, but that's when growth is most important. Your blessing is not a finish line. It's a platform. The more you grow, the more you can carry. The more you can carry, the more God can trust you with. And I want you to hear this. Your reward will attract attention and sometimes opposition. There will be those who try to compete with you, imitate you, or undermine you. Do not let that pull you into pettiness. Stay focused on nurturing what you've been given. Energy spent defending your blessing is energy not spent growing it. Right now, I want you to make a promise to yourself and declare it in the comments as a prophetic commitment. I will protect my blessing, grow my blessing, and let it multiply. Because here's the truth. Your reward is not just for you. It's going to bless others. It's going to inspire people you'll never meet. It's going to open doors for people connected to you. And when you steward it well, it will outlive you. In the next part, I'm going to guide you through how to mentally and emotionally live in your reward season without constantly looking over your shoulder, so you can enjoy the blessing fully without the fear of losing it. One of the greatest challenges people face after stepping into their blessing is learning how to live without fear of losing it. When you've endured seasons where everything felt uncertain, where things were taken from you unexpectedly, it can be hard to trust stability when it finally comes. You find yourself waiting for the other shoe to drop, unable to fully enjoy the gift you've been given. But God didn't bring you into this season so you could live in constant anxiety. He didn't restore you just so you could spend every day wondering if it will all disappear. This blessing is not a trick, not a temporary bribe to keep you moving. It is the fruit of your endurance, the answer to prayers you've prayed through, tears, and the fulfillment of promises spoken over your life long before you saw them. If you're going to truly step into your reward season, you have to rewire your relationship with security. That means letting go of the habit of scanning for danger when you should be soaking in peace. It means learning to receive without suspicion, to rest without guilt, to believe without doubting every good thing. Here's how you can do that. Stop rehearsing old losses in your mind. The past was real. The pain was real. But constantly replaying it in your head only teaches your nervous system to expect more loss. Your mind becomes trained to look for danger even when it's not there. Replace those mental replays with visions of your future, the kind of life you want to live now that the worst is over. Recognize that God is not a taker. He's a giver. Your old season may have felt like everything was being stripped away, but that was pruning, not punishment. He removed what couldn't go with you so that what truly belongs could take root. The blessings in this season are not fragile, they are fortified. Anchor yourself in gratitude daily. Fear cannot survive in the same space as deep gratitude. The more you focus on what you have, the less mental space fear has to grow. Every morning, name 3 specific things about your blessing that you are grateful for, and let your spirit rest in that. 4. Learn to rest. Some people come out of hard seasons addicted to hustle because stillness feels dangerous. But you need to understand, in this season, rest is not laziness, it's stewardship. You are protecting your mental, emotional, and spiritual energy so you can enjoy your blessing fully. When you stop living as if your reward is fragile, you'll start realizing just how much more space there is for joy. The reward season is meant to be experienced with open hands and an open heart, not clenched fists and a guarded spirit. And here's something else you need to know. The joy of this season will heal parts of you the storm never could. Peace will restore you in ways that pain never did. You will find yourself smiling without forcing it, breathing deeply without panic, and waking up without that heavy knot in your chest. Write this in the comments if it resonates in your soul. I will enjoy my blessing without fear of losing it. Because in the next part, I'm going to reveal how to turn your reward season into a foundation for an entirely new chapter of your life. One where you're not just blessed, but you're building something that will impact generations after you. You've made it through the storm. You've received your blessing. You've learned to hold it without fear. Now comes the next stage, turning this season of reward into a foundation for something greater than yourself. Because the truth is, God never blesses you just for you. Yes, He delights in seeing you happy, restored, and flourishing. But He also sees beyond you, to the lives you will touch, the people you will influence, the impact you will make when you live fully in the overflow of what He's given. This is where your story stops being about survival and starts becoming about legacy. When you live in overflow, you no longer think in terms of, how do I get by? You think in terms of, how do I build something that lasts? You start making decisions not just for your present comfort, but for the future strength of what God has placed in your hands. Here's how to begin building your life in this season so it outlives you. Invest in the areas that matter most. Whatever you've been blessed with, time, resources, opportunities, channel them into things that have lasting value. This could be relationships, skill building, personal growth, or projects that impact others. Ask yourself, will this matter 5 years from now? 10 years? If the answer is yes, give it your attention. Teach what you've learned. Your journey through the storm wasn't just for you to have a testimony. It was so you could help someone else navigate theirs. Don't hide the lessons. Share them, whether it's through conversation, writing, mentorship, or acts of kindness. Your story could be the key that unlocks someone else's faith. Protect your new environment. A garden grows best in a protected space. Now that you're in your reward season, be intentional about who and what you allow into your life. Negativity, jealousy, and drama are weeds that will try to choke your growth. Guard your peace like it's the most valuable possession you own, because it is. Plan for expansion. Don't settle into thinking this is enough if you know God is calling you to more. Expansion doesn't always mean more money or more things. It can mean more influence, more wisdom, more ways to serve. Ask God daily, how can I multiply what you've given me? And here's the key. Your blessing is both the proof of God's faithfulness and the tool for His next move in your life. You are not at the end of your story. You're at the beginning of a chapter where you operate from a position of strength rather than desperation. That's why this is not just a reward. It's a platform. A platform to speak with authority. A platform to live with generosity. A platform to inspire others that the storm does end and the morning does come. Right now, declare this as a commitment over your life. I will turn my blessing into a foundation that will outlive me. Because in the next part, I'm going to show you how to remain unshaken no matter what comes in the future, so that this season of reward isn't just a highlight, but the beginning of an unstoppable life. Every season of life, even one filled with blessings, will still have challenges. The difference now is this: the storms that used to shake you will no longer break you. You've been strengthened, not just by the blessing itself, but by the journey it took to get here. When you've endured the kind of battles you've faced, you develop a certain unshakable spirit, a faith that runs deeper than fear, a peace that doesn't crumble when things get uncertain. And that's exactly what you need to keep your reward secure. Here's what you must remember in this season. Don't panic at the first sign of change. The enemy loves to test your stability by creating small disruptions and watching your reaction. Don't take the bait. Not every shift is a threat. Some are just part of the natural rhythm of life. When you see change coming, Stand firm in the truth that God didn't bring you here just to let you fall apart. Keep your spiritual and mental muscles active. Just because the storm has passed doesn't mean you stop strengthening yourself. Stay rooted in the habits that got you here. Prayer, self-discipline, wise decision-making, guarding your peace. Your strength now is like a shield. Keep it polished. Expect favor, not fear. You've been conditioned to anticipate bad news because of what you've been through. In this new season, you must consciously shift to expecting good news. When you expect favor, you position yourself to see opportunities that others miss. Keep perspective in moments of pressure. Even in a blessing season, there will be moments when things feel overwhelming. In those moments, pause and remind yourself, this is not the same as before. I am not fighting for survival anymore. I am managing growth. That shift in perspective changes everything. Here's the truth. The reward you're in now is not fragile. It's not a delicate flower that will wither at the first wind. It's rooted deeply because it was planted in the soil of your endurance. You've been through too much to lose everything over something small. When fear tries to creep back in, because it will, remind yourself of where you've been and what you've already overcome. That alone will silence the voice that says, "What if it all goes wrong?" And let me be clear, God is not just giving you a reward to enjoy for a moment. He's establishing a new normal for your life. This is your baseline now. Peace, stability, favor, and provision. The chaos of the last season is not coming back. You've crossed over, and there is no going back. Take a deep breath right now and feel that truth settle in your chest. Write it in the comments to seal it in your spirit. This is my new normal. I am unshaken, and I will remain in my blessing. Because, in the next part, the final arc, I'm going to close this journey with a declaration over your life so powerful that it will not only affirm your reward, but ignite the faith to keep walking in it every single day without looking back. Take a moment. Sit in the stillness. Let every word you've heard up until now settle deep into your soul like seeds falling into fertile soil. You've walked through valleys that would have broken others. You've stood in storms that lasted far longer than you thought you could endure. You've faced nights where you couldn't see a single ray of hope, yet somehow you're still here. And that, in itself, is proof. You are stronger than you realize. And more importantly, God was with you the entire time. Now, the chapter of loss, delay, and uncertainty is closed. You are stepping into a chapter where your days will be marked not by constant battle, but by constant breakthrough. The heaviness you carried has been lifted. The doors that were once locked are opening without resistance. The dreams that seemed buried are coming alive again. Listen closely. This is your new reality. You will wake up with peace instead of panic. You will walk with purpose instead of wandering. You will speak with confidence instead of hesitation. You will expect blessings instead of bracing for loss. From this day forward, you are no longer living under the shadow of, "What if it goes wrong?" but in the light of, "What if it all goes right?" And it will go right. God is not a halfway provider. He doesn't bring you to the edge of the promise and leave you there. If He has brought you into this reward season, it is because He intends for you to live in it, grow in it, and flourish in it. This is not a temporary glimpse of goodness. It's the beginning of a life marked by His abundance. So here is the declaration I want you to speak, not just today, but every day until it becomes your natural state of being. The worst is behind me. My hands are open. My heart is ready. My spirit is expectant. I will walk boldly into my reward. I will protect it, grow it, and share it. And no fear, no doubt, No past storm will steal what God has placed in my life. This is my season. This is my time. I receive it fully. Say it again. Let your own voice be the trumpet that announces to heaven and earth that you are ready. And as you walk forward from this moment, know that the same God who saw you through the darkness will walk with you in the light. Every step, every decision, every opportunity, you are not alone. You are guided, you are covered, and you are chosen. So take the deepest breath you've taken in a long time. Smile, not because everything is perfect, but because you finally know that everything is possible. And step into your reward, child of God, because it's been waiting for you.